Today we are going to start chapter 13, that is My School Days by M.K. Gandhi. You know who is M.K. Gandhi? Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Actually, Gandhiji was commonly known as Gandhiji as he was a famous freedom fighter. He is acknowledged in India as the father of nation. He was also an efficient writer. He wrote many books including an autobiography. So, this story is of my experiments with truth. So let's read this story. This is just an autobiography. I must have been about 7 when my father left Porbandar for Rajkot. He is telling his own story. There I was put into a primary school and I can well recollect those days, including the names of other particulars of the teachers who taught me, as he is talking about his own school time. As at Porbandar, so here, there is hardly anything a note about my studies. I could only have been a mediocre student, not very good in studies, just mediocre. From this school, I went to the Sunburn school and thence to the high school, having already reached by my 12th year. I do not remember having ever told a lie during this short period. That means he was always telling the truth. He has never told lie in his life, either to my teachers or to my schoolmates. I used to be very shy and avoided all company. My books and my lessons were my sole companions. That means only he likes reading books. To be at school at the stroke of hour, to run back home as soon as the school closed, that was my daily habit. I literally ran back because I could not bear to talk to anybody. I was even afraid lest anyone should poke fun at me. That means he was very shy with nature. There is an incident which occurred at the examination during my first year at high school and which is worth recording. Mr. Gills, the educational inspector, had come on a visit of inspection. He had set us 5 words to write as spelling exercise. One of the words was kettle. I had misspelt it. The teacher tried to prompt me with the point of his boot, but I would not be prompted. It was beyond me to see that he wanted me to copy the spelling from my neighbor's slate, for I had thought that the teacher was there to supervise us against copying. The result was that all the boys except myself were found to have spelt every word correctly. Only I had been stupid. The teacher tried later to bring this stupidity home to me, but without effect. I never could learn the art of copying. My studies were continued. I was not regarded as a dunce at the high school. You know what is dunce? Dunce means very slow at learning. I always enjoyed the affection of my teachers. Certificates of progress and character used to be sent to the parents every year. I never had a bad certificate. In fact, I even won prizes after I passed out of the 2nd standard. In the 5th and 6th, I obtained scholarships of rupees 4 and 10 respectively. Actually, that time the scholarships were given in rupees, like 4, 10, like that. My own recollection is that I had not any high regard for my ability. I used to be astonished whenever I won prizes and scholarships, but I very jealously guarded my character. The least little blemish drew tears from my eyes. When I merited or seemed to the teacher to merit a rebuke, it was unbearable for me. I remember having once received corporal punishment. I did not so much mind the punishment as the fact that it was considered my desert. I wept piteously. That was when I was in the 1st or 2nd standard. There was another such incident during the time when I was in 7th standard. So, in this incident, Dorabji Edulji Gimi was the headmaster then that time. He was popular among boys as he was disciplinarian, means he was always very strict, a man of method and a good teacher. He had made gymnastics and cricket compulsory for boys of the upper standards. That means it was compulsory to join this. I disliked both. I never took part in any exercise, cricket or football. Before they were made compulsory, my shyness was one of the reasons for this aloofness, which I now see was wrong. I then had the false notion that gymnastics had nothing to do with education. Today, I know that physical training should have as much place in the curriculum as mental training. I may mention, however, that I was none the worse for abstaining from exercise. That was because I had read in books about the benefits of long walks in the open air, and having liked the advice, I had formed a habit of taking walks which has still remained with me. These walks gave me a fairly hardy constitution. The reason of my dislike for gymnastics was my keen desire to serve a nurse to my father. As soon as the school closed, I would hurry home and begin serving him because he was feeling not well. So that time I used to serve my father. He is saying that in this. So compulsory exercises came directly in the way of this. So I request Mr. Guinea to exempt me. Exempt means to make him free from gymnastics so that I might be free to serve my father. But he would not listen to me. Now, it has so happened that one Saturday when we had school in the morning, I had to go from home to the school for gymnastics at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had no watch and the clouds deceived me. Actually, what happens that time? People used to decide time by seeing sun. But before I reached the school, the boys had all left. The next day, Mr. Gimme, examining the roll, found me marked absent. Being asked the reason for absence, I told him what happened. That means he told everything about that. He refused to believe me and ordered me to pay a fine of 1 or 2 annas. That time they used to pay fine as a punishment. So I was convicted of lying. That deeply pained me. How was I to prove my innocence? Now how should he prove? That time there was no way. I cried in deep anguish. I saw that a man of truth must also be a man of care. This was the first and last instance of my carelessness in school. I have a faint recollection that I finally succeeded in getting the fine remitted. The exemption from exercise was of course obtained as my father wrote himself to the headmaster saying that he wanted me at home after school. But though I was none of worse for having neglected exercise, I am still paying. So he told that the penalty of another neglect, I do not know whence I got the notion that good handwriting was not a necessary part of education. I was ashamed of myself and repented of my neglected. I saw that bad handwriting should be regarded as a sign of an imperfect education. That means if your writing was not good, that time you were in imperfect education. I tried later to improve mine, but it was too late. I could never repair the neglect of my youth. Let every young man and woman be warned by my example. That means he became an example for that. And understand that good handwriting is a necessary part of education. So children, this is the same now also. Handwriting should be neat and clean. I am now of opinion that children should first be taught the art of drawing before learning how to write. Let the child learn his letters by observation as he does different objects such as flowers, birds, etc. And let him learn handwriting only after he has learned to draw objects. He will then write a beautifully formed hand. So this was the chapter. Now let's see the word meanings. Mediocre, neither good nor bad. That means so-so in studies. Suburban, it is a characteristic of outlying district of city not completely developed. That means a city which is not completely developed. And what is dunce? A person slow at learning, that is dunce. Blemish, a stain. Rebuke, sharp disapproval or criticism, burai karna. Disciplinarian, a person who practices firm discipline or rules. Aloofness means distance. Abstaining, refraining from indulging into something. Exempt, to free from an obligation or task. That means free from any work. Repented, regretting one's own actions. So chapter is over. So please do read the chapter again for understanding the autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi. Thank you for watching the video.